Hey, bud, what'd you think, man? Let me know some things about what can we expect from you?
Fireworks.
Fireworks. You ready, bud?
That's the fight that everybody want to see.
Yeah.
And I want to do it.
Do you respect him as like when he's like, I got a couple fights left, I'm at the end, I'm only trying to get mega fights, so.
I understand.
This changes everything. Terence Crawford just gave a shocking response to Jaron Ennis, and it could set up the biggest fight of 2026. Terence Crawford has finally answered Jaron Ennis' challenge for a fight at super middleweight, and to everyone's surprise, he accepted. Nobody expected this, because Crawford had never shown real interest in fighting Ennis before.
Like I said before, that's my obligation in the contract, and I gotta honor that if that's the next move for me and my.
In an interview while preparing for his next fight, Crawford explained, "It's part of my contract, so I have to honor it. If that's the next step in my career, then I'll do it." He also made it clear he was willing to fight at 168 pounds if it meant giving Ennis a shot at his belts, and confirmed he was open to a fight in 2026. This move mirrors Crawford's own career jumps from welterweight to 154.
Terence Crawford against Jaron Ennis, for me, is the best fight in American boxing. But it needs to be a payday for Crawford that would get him interested, because Crawford knows how good Boots is. And I'm not saying that Crawford thinks he's going to lose to Boots, but he knows that is a real fight. But for me, Boots is the new Crawford.
And now straight into super middleweight. Just hours later, Crawford held a huge victory parade in his hometown of Omaha. When reporters brought up Ennis again, Crawford didn't back down. He directly challenged Ennis. "If it's at 168, then send the contract. I'll do it at 168 for sure." Eddie Hearn, Jaron Ennis' promoter, quickly confirmed that the fight was being discussed and called it the best fight in boxing right now.
Without him, really wanting to fight and putting forth the effort into doing what he can do along with me to get this fight done, we wouldn't be fighting. So it's only right that I give him that same,
And I need, so after I do my thing, Saturday night and be victorious, I feel like it's only big name fights from here on out, only main event headlines and pay-per-view headline, pay-per-view fighting. So that's my goal.
Your skills against
Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn revealed that talks had already started for Crawford to face Jaron Ennis, the former unified welterweight champion. Ennis is currently preparing for his 154-pound debut against Wismal Lima on October 11th. Hearn said, "For me, Crawford versus Ennis is the best fight in American boxing, but it needs to be a big payday for Crawford because he knows how dangerous Boots is. I'm not saying Crawford thinks he'll lose, but he knows it's a tough fight." Hearn went further, calling Ennis the new Crawford, saying all he needs now are the right fights to prove his greatness.
Fight that makes a whole lot of sense, and a fight that stylistically will be, oh my goodness, is a fight between Terence Crawford and Jaron Boots Ennis.
I don't think I think that's going backwards for Terence.
To that point, Jaron doesn't have the kind of accolades. He doesn't sell to the mass and all these. So
after Crawford's last fight, reporters asked him about facing Ennis in the future. At first, the 5-division champion said no, because he wasn't planning to return to junior middleweight. For the fight to happen, Ennis would need to meet Crawford at another weight. Eddie Hearn explained, "The problem is Crawford only wants the big money fights, and there are only a few that can generate that kind of money. Crawford is different. His boxing IQ is on another level. You need serious skill and experience to compete with him. That's why I like the Boots fight."
Roller coaster, but we made it to the top. No matter how we made it, and it's definitely a test to say that anything is possible if you work hard at it and you believe in yourself and you have the faith.
Ennis had previously been the mandatory challenger at 147 pounds, but Crawford moved up to 154, where he beat Israel Madrimov to claim the WBA title. After that, Ennis was upgraded from interim to full champion and went on to unify by beating Imadas, Stanionis in April as he prepared for his fight with Wismal Lima. Ennis also became a sparring partner for Canelo Alvarez while Canelo trained for Crawford.
Don't lie or kept to the net. It made it seem like I had the opportunity to fight you and I didn't. I never did. You know what I'm saying? And then that one time that I did, we said, they called, and we said, we never heard nothing else big about it. So, like,
right.
I mean, I respect it, though. I mean, get your money. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. But don't be capping on the net.
But even with all the training, it wasn't enough to help Canelo Alvarez. After his loss, Canelo admitted his body simply couldn't keep up. Eddie Hearn praised Crawford's performance. I feel bad for Canelo, but I'm happy Crawford finally got to show how great he really is. His resume didn't fully prove it before. Doing this at 38 years old is amazing.
Crawford Canelo fight. Were you surprised by the outcome?
It's boxing. You know, they have.
No doubt. My other question for you is, with this win, everybody said Crawford elevated his status. He's the GOAT. Do you think this win puts him on Mount Rushmore or makes him a GOAT in boxing?
Everybody got their own opinion, so.
Many thought Crawford would retire after the Canelo fight, but others believe he still has more left. Some even think he could move back down and win a world title at 160, making him a 6th division champion. More than 70,000 fans filled Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, while over 41 million people watched on Netflix as Crawford beat Alvarez by a close but clear decision.
South Philly.
Yeah.
All right, so they'll kill me if I don't ask you, right?
What?
Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford wins unanimous decision victory.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on the fight?
I was trying to stay up. It was getting too late, y'all. It was like, I think by the time they came on, it was probably 1 o'clock or something like that.
It was like 1 and some
change. I trained.
Among those watching closely was Jaron Ennis. The 28-year-old from Philadelphia has been calling out Crawford for years. He's often compared to the future Hall of Famer, and this time, he was again in the spotlight. Ennis had been part of Canelo's training camp, helping him prepare. But when he picked Canelo to beat Crawford, many criticized him for it. Ennis didn't hold back when asked about it later.
Couple more days and y'all gonna see Canelo fighting Crawford, so I ain't got no comment on who gonna win the fight. If Crawford do what he's supposed to do, he got an option. If he don't beat Canelo. Simple as that.
In his second camp away from Philadelphia, it was fun being in there with Canelo. He has 67 fights, so it was cool sharing the ring with him. I enjoyed sparring, fishing, and just hanging out with my brother. He explained he moved up in weight for a new experience and loved the chance to train with a fighter of Canelo's level.
Guy of that caliber?
Yeah, why not? Why not you be able to share the ring with Canelo and like I said, being there with a Hall of Famer, a legend, and the face of kind of like the face of boxing, why not?
Ennis also spoke about how quickly the sparring photos went viral. I knew it was going to blow up the second we posted the picture. I don't care about the backlash. This was for me, not anyone else. I wanted to train at elevation and work on myself. He added that all the hype only makes a potential fight with Crawford even more exciting.
Think Crawford's gonna get the job done. I am officially picking Crawford to win this fight. It is still 50-50, but obviously...
he says that till he goes to Canelo.
I'm obviously gonna say that this is a 60-40 fight, and I have Crawford winning this fight. Crawford's gonna win this fight doing something that nobody's done to Canelo.
Okay.
Canelo. He's sparring against a great fighter, world champion in Ennis. And like I said
and
before, iron sharpens iron. And maybe it will. But on the other side, it was interesting to hear your side of whether it's the overtraining or I think more the mental side. What if Boots is getting the best of him? How does that affect Canelo going into this fight? Why would you want to even put that doubt in your fighter's head going into...
Boxing analyst Teddy Atlas, however, believed Canelo made a mistake by sparring with Ennis. He warned that Ennis' style could wear Canelo out before fight night. Atlas explained, Ennis is a tough guy to train with. Canelo has been in 65 fights already, and I wouldn't want him to waste energy in the gym like that. Both camps were fully preparing for fight night, but Canelo's decision to spar with Ennis caught attention.
It's not me.
Yeah.
As much as a lot of people, say we have similarities and, we switch a lot and we fight a lot. He's not me, and I'm not him, so. Yeah.
Tim had said comparison that he's like a Chrysler 300.
And now, I think Boots brought the best out of Canelo. I don't know how many rounds they may have sparred, if it's true, but if it is true, I'm assuming that Boots may have brought the best out of Canelo Alvarez in that sparring. Showed him different looks, the switch hitting. I'm pretty sure they probably wanted Boots to, emulate Crawford or just to be who.
Crawford rode on a throne mounted on a truck, raising his hand to the roaring crowd. Later, he posted a simple but powerful tweet. showing that his victory was about more than just one fight. It was about legacy. Nebraskans treated the day like a coronation for their hero.
My opinion is, I like who I like. You know, I like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Bernard Whitaker.
Who do you think?
I'm liking Sugar Ray Leonard. I've been watching a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard and James Tony. So they my top guys that I've been watching.
Highly, put it this way, I'll get right to the point. I wouldn't want wars with my guy who's been in 65 fights or 60 whatever, and is at that,
That's about it?
Yeah, he a good fighter. That's about it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know you were going to add or anything like that.
No. I say he a good fighter. That's about it.
Okay. Brian Norman Jr. got a knockout win. I know you guys tried to make a fight previously. He had mentioned in a group huddle with us that he just didn't like being cornered in. Just give us your perspective on that and him saying those comments.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't even know what you're talking about. I've been so locked in and zoned in on what I got going on. I ain't been worrying about nobody else doing nothing. I just been going to the gym, training, locking in books and things like that, even covering a little bit. I'm just so focused on what I got going on. I really ain't been on social media. I post whatever.
Few boxers in history have ever become undisputed in multiple divisions, but Crawford is dotted 38. Questions remain if the Canelo fight might be his last. Crawford himself has said it's about legacy, not money. In one interview, he explained, "People said I was broke, but I was always paid well. I don't have to fight. I fight because I love it."